Bitcoin holding, but still fragile, crawling back from that massive dump on Friday. We got bulls that have stepped in right now, holding the line right around 109,000 and a half. We're going to get all into that. Ethereum actually crawling back above 4,100. Uh, but it's really another one that is like basically strapped, actually trapped in between, like, say, 38 and 44 right now. Not a breakout yet. We got a question: is this just a relief bounce or the setup for something much bigger? We got rumors that are flying around. I want to make sure that you see the rumors where you see us in X. We got Wintermute, one of crypto's biggest market makers, just moved hundreds of millions in stable coins to Binance. The smart money might be gearing up for the next move. Welcome back, crypto crew. It is your boy Tommy. I'm bringing you the hottest in crypto and Bitcoin action. Make sure you give us a like. Make sure you hit subscribe if you have not already, and make sure you come on over to X and follow us on X, where we talk about Bitcoin, crypto all day, every day, right there at Merlin the Trader. All right, let's get right into it. Here's our infamous 2-hour chart. Said yesterday we needed to get above 12,001. We did. Unfortunately, we could not spike above the first level of importance of, like, say, 115.8. Still holding tight. So Bitcoin itself right now, in my humble opinion, is trapped between, let's say, this upper level of 115.8 and the lower level down here of 108.8. This level is a very important level, the 108.8. If that goes, we're gonna dig deeper. We're gonna definitely dig deeper to potentially like 106, which I think there would be a very, very good buy. It's very, very close to the spike down that we had, but right now it's holding tight. Bitcoin is holding tight. We got some issues in the background that we're going to cover, but a break above, say, that 115.8 would be a good sign, marking here's the gatekeeper. This level right there, 117.9, 118,000 is the gatekeeper right now. We need to break above that in order to shake off this bearishness. Now, it's going to be a while before we can, because the marketplace has been, that movement down really shook people to the core. Now, if you're still around, it means you're a strong trader. You really are a strong trader. I know there's a lot of summertime soldiers that left. And, I saw a comment on our YouTube channel where a guy says, what makes you think there's going to be a rally? All retail, you think retail is going to want to re-enter after what happened? What you're failing to understand, my man, is that there's always new blood. Okay, the players change, but the ideas don't change. Now, yeah, I believe that a lot of the people that got hurt big time, well, I call them summertime soldiers. They're big when everything is going great, either they're long or short. When everything's going great, hey, everything's going great. But as soon as they hit some obstacles, they're out. They just, like, this is too difficult for me. I knew it was rigged. I got to get out of this thing. It's the same story. So the people that did leave, and I'm talking about people that were in XRP, that basically, $3 is cheap. It's probably going to 4,000. So let me get in at 3, and in 2 days it'll be 4,000. I can cash out and buy my yacht and mansion and yacht that I've been looking for. And when it crashed down to $1.25 because of the ADL, right? Because of that liquidation, automatic deleveraging, bang, they're not returning. But there's a whole new blood of people that also have dreams and aspirations that are going to come into this market, because they're chasing shiny objects, and they really have no idea what they're doing. And the only way they're actually going to know what they're doing is if they join our pro community, okay? And then we'll teach them, what this is about, okay? That's my rant for the day. So right now, Bitcoin's holding right around 111,000. Now there's some rumors. Actually, that's not a rumor. We're going to be talking about Wintermute in a second. However, there are more tensions flaring again against with the U.S. and China. That's never a good thing. So The flaring again about tariffs, shipping disruptions, and broader risk off flows hit global markets with this. No, it's if I'm looking at dollar yen, I looked at dollar yen. Dollar yen fell to 150.90. Now it's starting to recover. It's trading right around 151.68, 151.70. Why I look for dollar yen, because dollar yen's also a canary in the coal mine. It basically tells me, okay, when dollar yen starts going up, it's basically risk off, right? So the market's calming down. When people run into the yen, it's risk. They're afraid. So dollar yen is recovering. It's nothing major. It hasn't rip roared up, but it is recovering off of the low today of 150 like 88. It's a good sign. If it can hold and continue, I think the target today is 152 like 12 in dollar yen. I'm long. I'm talking my book, but I think that's where it's heading. If it could stabilize, that means Bitcoin's going to stabilize. See, everything is interrelated here: foreign exchange, bond yields, crypto stocks. It's not just one thing. It's not just look at the chart and go, oh, Tom says like 112 is the point. No, no. I come up with 112 for the point because of other stuff that's going on. Okay, the 108 is definitely the scare point. A break of 108.8, not good. All right, so we got to keep in, make sure I told you before in the past, you make sure you watch those crypto stocks. Okay, I gave you the list. Clear skies. You got to look at coin. Coin's been down. It's down about $10 on the day. You got to look at Grayscale. You got to look at iBit. All that stuff. All those stocks that I gave you are mixed. So that's good. That means that there's just equities are just trading as normal. Some people are going short, they're driving prices down, but other people are going long. If you look at Riot, I believe Riot's up big. Let me check, see, make sure my chart's up. Hang on. Yeah, if we look at Riot's up. Okay, so that's moving. We also had, let me get the other chart that I want to show you. Look at Mara Holdings. Look at Mara Holdings. So we don't have right now. We have no fear of contagion. I would say that we have one more day of let the stocks do what they're going to do. Let's look at what do we got here. Yeah, this one's been taking a hit. Oh, hang on a second. Yeah, like right here. Okay, that's Riot. Okay, I got Riot up. Where's my coin? Right here's coin. All right, look at coin. Okay, coin itself, it's tracking down, but really it's in the area that if I was trading equities, that it broke back up, through this top. I would think that this is the level. The breakout level will be right by that 618 breakout. Would actually start sending this equity higher. Okay, that we're not trading stocks, but and I haven't done a deep dive on it. I'm just looking at price action, and what we can look at this price action for Bitcoin and Ethereum and all crypto markets. There's no contagion, which is what I was concerned with after Friday. So now today things are calming down. All right, so let's look at where we talk about Bitcoin, where the crowd panics. Yet really the market is kind of stabilizing. Get into our pro group. I keep stressing it. I know I sound like an idiot, but for those of you new, man, it's free. And we have some really good ideas in there that the group is buzzing. It's a lot of fun. Got some problems with problems shared or problems halved. So we're willing to help you out. But really, if we look at Bitcoin itself, we could see this chart right here. The buy the dip scenario has always been good for Bitcoin. Okay. Now, I know a lot of people thinking, Tom, you're going to be singing a cappella when we hit 90,000, and I will. All right, I will. But right now, there's no reason. I'm not taking any singing lessons right now. Okay, if we drop below like 102, I'll definitely schedule for a singing lesson so I can get up to those high pitches at like so I'll be prepared for 90,000 or 97,500 CME market cap. And of course, I'm replying to some of the people that leave me wonderful comments. And yeah, all right. But there's no reason to do it right now because the crowd panicked, right? Bitcoin didn't. Extreme fear always seems like the end, but it's just a reset. Markets don't just go in one direction. I know we want them to. I know when we're long, we want them to go up into infinity. Just keep going. Infinitely higher, right? When we're short, we want it to go down to zero. That's just the way human nature is. It's called fear and greed. It's been around since we've been around. So it ain't changing. The players change, the pockets change, but you know what? The suckers never change. They're basically always, if there's a sucker class, there's a sucker class, which, that's an old world, that's an old Wall Street saying that dates back to the 20s, So the sucker class never changes. When the ducks are quacking, feed them. When the ducks are fearful, take everything off of their hands for them. And that's what Bitcoin's actually showing right now. I know there's a lot of people that are bearish. Okay. But hey, that's what makes a market, right? So place your bets. Everyone, place your bets. All right. So, if you're still waiting for permission, get into our trade group to buy the dip. Get in there. We'll talk to you. If you think that it's going lower, come on in and discuss your data points with us. We'd be happy to hear them. So really, if you're still waiting for permission to buy the dip, you might be late, because if I look at the MVRV score, okay, of Bitcoin, it's right here. Okay, accumulation phase, check. Breakout in progress. Top comes after the surge, not before. Okay? The window's still open, but it's not going to be open forever. Right now, you should really seriously think about, of course, trading with your head, not over it. Don't over leverage yourself, or that spark that happened on Friday is not a one-time event. Automatic deleveraging is not a one-time event. So, I mean, it will happen again in the future. So, just got to be prepared for it, right? So, if we look at metals, okay, very, very, very important. We look at metals. Gold always leads and Bitcoin follows. The playbook never changes. All right, this is the way it goes. This is what the marketplace does. All right, so gold moves first, Bitcoin comes next. Gold, all-time high. Okay, stealing some of the oxygen from Bitcoin right now. I thought that might be a decoupling. I said that Bitcoin may just follow with it. Okay, hasn't happened yet. I do believe that if we get through that 117.5, the gatekeeper that I have on my 2-hour chart right here, that would be the signal. Yeah, it's starting to happen. But right now, as it stands, gold is leading the way. Bitcoin is going to follow. Just got to watch very closely. The pump is loading. It's where history repeats. Now, I want to take you over to this chart. I showed you this chart before. I mean, this chart is just unbelievable. Silver, all-time high. Gold, all-time high. Now, silver, the highest silver had ever been was in 1980. It reached 49.95 per ounce. Right now, it's at 52.56, so therefore it has broken the all-time high. Now, in 1980, that came directly from the Hunt brothers' infamous attempt to corner the silver market. It's one of the wildest episodes in modern financial history, man. It's just a mix of greed, leverage, geopolitics, regulatory crackdown. It's a great story. I would go into it, but I know a lot of you don't go into those stories. I just want to know what's going on. If you want to know about that story, leave it in the comments. I may revisit it to tell you the story. I basically came like 7 years after that in Forex trading, but I heard the story, and I had met some people that were involved in the potential that they were going against the corner, and they made a fortune on it. And if you want to hear the story, leave in the comments and I'll tell the story. All right, so right now, and we're looking at, again, this is just showing silver, gold flying. Bitcoin is going to catch some tailwinds from it. Now, we know Bitcoin is in its favorite quarter, okay? If we look back in the past, the 3 months that changed everything in 2024, Bitcoin pumped 80% the last time. Okay? It's the same window that just opened again. Bitcoin's seasonal strength isn't a theory, man. It's a pattern, and it just got reactivated. All right, let's go on over to good old Ethereum. Ethereum right now is it's having some troubles. We need to get over that 4,600. It's been playing with a $4,000 retest right now. But really, if you look at Ethereum, we know that resistance is definitely thinning on top. But also, if we look at it, if I went down to a 4-hour chart, you'd see that there are higher bottoms that are constantly loading, which is a good thing. The higher lows are still intact. So therefore, for me, in the short term, it's actually showing that the accumulation phase is still likely underway in Ethereum. So if we could get above this 4,600, that would start the party off in Ethereum. As we said, we know that the liquidity is packed really in Ethereum. The resistance is thinning. If we get a breakout above 4,600, I think we're getting the party started. We're looking at Ethereum $10,000 targets and beyond. So it's going to be patience because Bitcoin dominance, as you know, Bitcoin dominance is up, and it's just going to take some time because what has happened has really shaken the market. Okay, and it's going to take a few days. It usually takes about a week before the market actually calms down and starts getting its rhythm back. So now we're into like day 3, day 4 of this. Catastrophic, that sell off, that catastrophic sell off that only the whales got a hold of anything, if anything, or it was really just the exchanges. So anyway, Ethereum is still holding right around the 4,000 level. Intraday high so far has been 4,200. Despite the volatility, Ethereum continues to show relative strength, maintaining structure as long as it holds above that $3,800 point, it's good. Strong ETF inflows and robust DeFi usage are reinforcing institutional demand on Ethereum. Now, Ethereum it's lagging behind global liquidity. We showed you this chart yesterday, and it's, of course, it hasn't changed much. But we know one thing, that global liquidity is rising. Institutional bids are stacking. Ethereum gets once Ethereum gets full, say, approval, the most hated rally will begin again, and it's going to be a fierce rally. We're thinking Ethereum hits 10 grand, and you're going to wish that you had the courage to actually get involved around 4,000. You are. So get into our pro group. We'll help you, right? Because we know Ethereum is walking the line, man. It's walking the ladder. And the ladder is, just straight up. It's going to be going upward. So I'm going to show you that ladder in a second. Where's my chart for my ladder? That's not my ladder chart. You know what? Actually, I'll stay on this chart. This is a better chart to lead into the Ethereum ladder. We had 2 bullish retests on the weekly EMA. The last time it happened, we had a 70% run up in 6 weeks. 70% in 6 weeks. So don't fear the dip. Don't fear the dip. The dip is actually an opportunity. Of course, you have to use good stop losses on you, and you can't trade, beyond your means. Okay, so really start thinking about accumulating Ethereum. All right, again, get into the pro group. All right, so we're saying Ethereum is walking the ladder. It is walking the ladder. Remember way back when, okay, in 1440 was a dream, broke. Back here, 4,400, another dream. 4,800, a dream. Right now, $4,000. We got a bullish retest that's happening right now. Market breaks out above that 4,800, 4,600. We got the party started. All right, so that's what we're seeing right now in the Ethereum charts. Now, I want to get into what's going on with winter mute. Okay, it's really important that we keep our eye on it. I'm going to take you over to X, where we have our X post, where we actually highlight this for you. Right here, Wintermute, it just sent millions in stablecoins to exchanges. It's not random. Last time they did this, Bitcoin pumped 15%, hit an all-time new high. The question is, are they positioning to buy a dip or something bigger, right? So now, for those of you that don't know what Wintermute is, if you're new, Wintermute is not a hedge fund that bets on direction, but it's a quant trading house that basically thrives on market volatility and spreads. When they move large sums of stablecoin like this, the rumored hundreds of millions to Binance, it's often for liquidity provision, an arbitrage opportunity, or it's complete opportunist accumulation. Opportunity accumulation. I'm having a hard time with that word. During volatile moments, not necessarily just a directional bet, okay, on Bitcoin or Ethereum. So, but it's definitely a signal to watch. Okay, on-chain movements from their wallets can hint at market positioning. Now, historically, when they shift capital onto exchanges, it often precedes huge volatility or a major rebalancing event. So we're thinking they're looking to actually get long on another volatility potential spike. Now, if they don't get the spike, they may just get long. Okay. And I'm thinking that if we break above that 118,000, they're actually going to deploy this capital. Okay. Remember, they're plugged into ETF flows, derivatives, and spot market arbitrage. So winter mute moves, often front run the next phase of market liquidity rotation. So that's why they're really, really important to follow and watch. And we're keeping an eye on them. Like I said, if you're part of our group, you're going to be well alerted to like what we're looking at. So I want to just cover one other thing. Actually, before I jump over to that, I keep alluding to this free group, right? So what I want you to do is I want you to come over to the description right there. Click that link right there. You'll be taken over to our Telegram trading community, completely free to join. All right, completely free. If you are a lone wolf trader, all right, you want to get in on a really good. We have two brokers that we offer. Okay, WeX, which is offering really insane bonuses right now. I think lifetime no fees. We also got BTCC is giving a $500 giveaway for brand new accounts. Both excellent brokers. You want to level up your trading. These are the brokers. You need a good broker, right? I mean, the first thing you need is a good charting service like TradingView, and a good broker. All right, because if you get these wide spreads where you can drive trucks through them, 18 wheelers through the bid and the offer, it's really difficult, to pull the trigger. So believe me, this is where that you'd want to be. All right, so now I want to come over Bitcoin again. All right, I want to look at this. Now, Juan Perez, director of trading at Monex USA in Washington, said this, and I agree 100% with it. As long as China's relationship with the U.S. is shaky and stocks are too concentrated in tech, crypto is going to be struggling a little bit. Okay, that's just the way it goes. So crypto tends to enjoy times when other established assets are holding up well. That's why it's so important to watch those crypto stocks, right? But when the fundamentals are not great, crypto struggles a little bit. Now, the fundamentals are good. This is just a political move. Okay, so we're not dealing with straight fundamentals, macroeconomics, or macro. We're dealing with basically just a war that's going on between China and the U.S. Now, eventually it's going to calm down because there's only one thing that speaks truth, and that's green or money. I shouldn't say green because I don't think that the Chinese yuan is not green. Only the U.S. dollar is a greenback, right? But, it's money. Money always talks and BS walks, right? So they're going to settle this. So the bigger picture is that we're seeing a macro drag. So the uncertainty in the trade policy, tech-heavy equities are wobbly a little bit, and liquidity is tightening. It's all weighing in on the sentiment of this thing. So we got some stuff to work through, but honestly, we're seeing the strongest Bitcoin that we've ever seen because even with all this going on, it's still above $100,000. Got to keep that in mind. We're still above 100,000. Okay, so with that environment, with market makers like Wintermute, they're going to thrive in this environment. They're going to be exploiting inefficiencies, setting up for rebounds, and keeping volatility alive. That is for sure. So get ready, strap in. We're going to get more volatility. That is for sure. Let's move on over to good old Bitcoin dominance. Let's finish up with Bitcoin dominance and altcoins. Okay, Bitcoin dominance, 59.20. Pretty high. Now, we know that right now, as Bitcoin stays up, we're going to have rotation that's going to be very, very slow into altcoins, right? So we know that right now, Bitcoin broke the ascending wedge, but because of what's happened, it's actually still being the dominant coin in the whole, crypto universe right now. That's why Ethereum is lagging. That's why all the others are lagging. We got to wait for, the dominance to start to cool off once again. Okay, so We're seeing really the strongest flow will actually be, I believe, into Ethereum next. Okay, I think that's going to be next. Now, if we look at the total altcoin market, I want to take you over to this chart right here. I mean, this is a beautiful map. Okay, we're in the same zone, bear trap opportunity. Got the same fear. We got the same opportunity in altcoins. Retail calls it a crash. Smart money is accumulating. Okay, history rewards the brave, not the loud, not the fearful. History rewards the brave. So the altcoin market remains under pressure. The liquidity is still a bit thin. Sentiment is cautious because of the Bitcoin dominance. But FX Street actually called it. Is it the death of alt season? Once they start writing uh, articles like that, actually you should be there's blood in the streets. You should get long. So we're seeing some relative strength in Solana. XRP's holding its own. BNB has shown some resilience. BNB is quietly outperforming both Bitcoin and Ethereum this year totally. So when fear peaks, patient accumulations win, and the rotation is, the play to watch. All right, crew, that's what we got for today. I want to leave you with this. This is awesome. Dips exist to transfer Bitcoin from weak hands to strong hands. The market is a patience test. If you're still here, you're already one of the strong ones. That's basically what I was saying in the beginning of our little meeting today. You want to know something? I might have read that earlier, and that might have been in my subconscious. So I can't really take full, complete, 100% credit for that. But anyway, so right now markets are a bit noisy. Make sure you follow us on X, where we talk about Bitcoin, crypto all day, every day. Make sure you get into our pro group. So what do you got to do? Well, you got to trade with your head, not over it. You got to do your own research. Okay, as you know, I am not a financial advisor. Okay, and also, what do you have to do as a short-term trader? You got to enjoy the party, but dance near the door. I will see you tomorrow. Let's hope you have a profitable day trading. Cheers.